Okay, so do you want me to read you my list of names?
For the as yet unnamed podcast that we're currently recording. Yes.
I mean, I know that some of these are terrible. Right. Symphony of Discussion.
Okay. Okay.
Do you understand the reference?
No.
Symphony of Destruction is a Megadeth
Okay.
song. But after I thought that, I thought of Appetite for Discussion, but I bet that's already one.
I bet it is.
Pod of Ages.
Oh, I like that one.
Kerrang. This is Kerrang and Metal Hammer.
Okay.
Rocktrospective. That's not very good. Hair to the Throne.
Oh, God. These are all really good.
Talk 80s to Me. Right, and these are a bit of a theme. Ain't talking about anything after 89. Ain't talking about grunge. Ain't talking about the 90s.
Okay.
Podley Crue. Otley Crue, because, there's a Otley.
Well, I've heard of Motley Crue before, so someone's used that with something.
Do you think that's like a tribute band?
Yeah.
All right. Denim and Leather.
Okay.
Leather and Lace.
Right.
The Dude Sea Scrolls.
Denim and Leather, who am I?
You could be Leather if you
I was
want.
going to say, if you say Denim.
Denim's a bit more me, innit? Chat Out of Hell. Actually, I really like that one. But I also like this, but it's not as identifiable as a pun. Prattle Stations.
Okay.
What the Cat Dragged In. Motley 2.
I don't want to get sued by Motley Crue.
They don't own the word Motley.
No.
The Wednesday Rock Show.
Oh.
Which is a reference to the Friday Rock Show.
I like. Can I see him list it down? Let me have a look. Right, so I like Podley Crue.
Podley Crue.
I like that. I like Pod of Ages.
Yeah.
I like Kurama.
Yeah.
I like Talk 80s to Me, but then I feel like maybe someone's probably got that.
Probably, yeah.
I like the Wednesday Rock Show, but I feel like people might be wanting more content from us than what we're going to be giving them, which is specifically and only old Kerrang copies.
Yeah.
That's I don't want to lie to people.
We don't have to decide now.
Okay. From anything that anyone's heard, we'd be interested in hearing feedback on perhaps a favourite. There is a cat wandering over at the moment, so if you hear any noises, it's the cat. Okay. Right. Okay.
Well, you've got two options. You can have a funny pun.
I do like Pod of Ages.
But then
I don't know.
Then you could. The other thing is have just really prosaic one that people will understand from the get-go what it actually is, like the Wednesday Rock Show.
Yeah.
But then you'd always have to release it on a Wednesday. And we're recording it on a Wednesday.
I'm not sure that we're that consistent.
Yeah, but you build up.
Okay.
Like a few, and then put them out.
Okay.
Whenever you want.
Well, to give some background, do you want to give some background about what we're talking about here?
I mean, eventually, I presume no one needs a description from us what the podcast is, because there will be a description when they download it. But why don't you talk about why we're doing it and what we're doing and why we decided to do it?
Well, it was your idea initially, and what we will be doing is looking through vintage Kerrang magazines and basically talking about the content, and that's way more interesting than it sounds. So these Kerrang magazines were gifted to me quite a few years ago, and I've got lots and lots of Kerrang and Metal Hammer, all from early to mid 80s. So
I think they're like late 80s.
Late 80s.
Yeah.
Late-ies.
Late-ies.
So that's what we'll be doing, looking through Kerrang. So if you like Kerrang or Metal Hammer, and you're of a certain age, let's face it, no one. Let's be honest. Anyone under the age of 25 is not going to be interested in anything we've got to say. So,
I mean, maybe they will. Maybe
they
they're
won't.
like
They won't.
historically.
Yeah, okay, maybe, but
maybe
also
they'll be interested historically in what these things have got to say. For me, weirdly enough, some of these are magazines I read at the time because I never bought it, but my friend used to get Kerrang. I think he got Kerrang and Metal Hammer, and whenever I was around at his house, I'd read them. So I like literally recognise some of these magazines from then. And I'd say they're mostly, I think there's a couple from 87. They seem to be mostly 88 and 89.
Okay.
So we don't really get into the 90s. And when we decided to do this, I looked up Kerrang podcast. There's an official Kerrang podcast, obviously not interested in that. And there's a vintage Kerrang, it's called Kerrang Back Issues. And I thought, oh shit, they're doing the same thing we're doing. But they're actually doing like mid-90s. So that we will not be stepping on their toes.
Lovely. So,
okay. Do you want to talk about your background as like what music you're into and how you got into it and that sort of thing? Just so we've got some.
Feels a bit like a job interview or a CV, so not really.
Well,
but
this is essentially a job interview for like people who are going to subscribe.
Yeah, okay, but I think I like music from the 80s predominantly, metal and rock, and that's lame to say because it's so vague, but I also feel too lame by listing bands that I like because that feels.
I think we'll get to bands you like, won't we?
Yeah.
So shall we have a dig into this one I've picked out?
Yeah. So tell me.
Okay, so this is Kerrang Kerrang number 178. It's from March the 12th, 1988, and it was 90p.
Bargain. One point, we will have an Instagram. Yeah. So we'll put up images of this specific magazine.
Yeah.
So feel free to pop over onto Instagram and have a look at the pages we're talking about. Fun.
But some of them might be a bit.
It's not a requirement. Yeah, we're not showing the tits. I know there's
some of them might be TOS.
Yeah, no.
I don't know what the deal is on Instagram because I've never posted.
You can't put nips up.
You can't.
So we'd have to.
I don't
emoji out the nips.
I don't think there's nips in this.
There's one with boobs in. I've already looked.
I mean, there's a lot of boobs in this, but no nips.
Right, 90p. Kerrang.
All right. Okay, so on the cover we got Anthrax in Japan.
Wait, what year is this?
1988.
88.
Already said.
Okay.
March the 12th. What were you up to in 1988?
I was 7.
Okay. Giving away your age.
All right. I was. I don't know. Probably something cool.
Do you know what? I looked up earlier what the UK charts were on March the 12th, 1988.
Okay.
Do you want to have a look?
Yeah.
Do you want to have a guess, first of all?
Jason Donovan, Kylie.
This is not metal related.
Kylie. Told you.
Yeah. Number
Kylie.
1, I Should Be So Lucky, the classic.
Right.
Number 2, Rick Astley, Together Forever.
Yeah, obviously.
Vanessa Paradis, Joe Taxi, number 3.
Nice.
Aswad, Don't Turn Around. I mean, classics.
Yeah.
5, Primitives, Crash. 6, Erasure, Ship of Fools. 7, Tarja Savelle, Love Is Contagious.
Fun fact, I think Crash is on the CD I had that was called Silk and Steel.
Really?
Yeah. Look up Silk and Steel album.
All right.
And I bet it's got Crash on.
Maybe there's lots of albums called Silk and Steel.
So Silk and Steel was an album that I got that was exactly how it sounds. I don't know if you need to describe the content. It's got a red silky cover with a black panther on the front because that's silky and both steely.
I mean, I'm surprised the Primitives are on it because they're a bit sort of indie, weren't they?
Well, I may be wrong. I hope I'm not wrong.
Yeah, Primitives, Crash. So the track listing is Cher. I found someone. Pretenders, Night in My Veins. Don't remember that?
No.
Scarlet, Independent Love Song.
No. I know it because
Heaven Is a Place on Earth. Belinda Carlisle. Annie Lennox, Walking on Broken Glass. Roxette, The Look. Go-Go's.
You can get the idea.
it's soft. It's 80s soft rock, isn't it? Let's have a look. Anything I would have owned.
So Google Silk and Steel album. Look for a red cover with a black panther on the front, and enjoy.
That's pretty cool.
So
pretty nice. Okay, so yeah, that's your chart rundown for
Right. So what was I doing when I was listening to Aswad? Don't know. Enjoying Aswad.
Probably at school.
Yeah, probably. Well, yeah, 7.
Okay, but you weren't reading Kerrang?
No, because I was a loser.
Okay. So let's have a look at what's in this issue.
Okay.
Anthrax in Japan is the main story. We've also got Heart, Iron Maiden, Whitesnake, Zodiac Mindwarp, W.A.S.P, and Nikki Six Shock centre pages. So that's
well, I can't wait for that.
too. Okay, so let's talk about what's in this issue, right?
Yeah.
So I'm opening it up, and I've obviously had a look first of all. Okay. So first
of all, there's.
Would you like to describe this image?
It's Iron Maiden with 4 lovely-looking ladies in the pants.
Yeah, and they got
in the pants.
They got madness written across their bosoms. And
all right, Dad.
Steve Harris and Dave Murray are pointing helpfully.
In case we hadn't noticed that they've got breasts, he's pointing at their breasts.
The other 3 are just little gurning in the background. So it's about Maiden for Donington. Iron Maiden have now been critically, officially confirmed as headliners at this year's Monsters of Rock Festival at Castle Donington.
The girls look very unimpressed.
Yeah, they've got like weird sort of bridesmaid.
Fascinators, they're called.
They've got stockings and suspenders, but they've got weird veils.
Yeah.
And this is for some reason a promotion for Can I Play With Madness?
Can I Play With Madness?
Imminent single for their imminent album, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. And there's some details about the single.
What's a fun fact about Can I Play With Madness?
Is this information you want to give out? Can I Play With Madness is our song, isn't it?
Yeah. You don't have to go into too much detail.
No, yeah, it's our song. Not a romantic piece, but yeah. So, do you remember Iron Maiden playing at Donington?
No.
Okay. And this was in an era before I went to see any bands, so I did not go to this. But yeah, there's no other information about who's playing. But spoiler alert, I think it was Guns N' Roses, Kiss, Thunder. Oh no, maybe Thunder were 1990 with Aerosmith. We'll sort this out. So other features in this, Ozzy's Wild Side. Is Ozzy in his sort of Fat Liz Taylor period. He's got a new guitarist called Zach Wilde. And obviously went on to become a big star. There's a feature about Kingdom Come. Have you ever heard of Kingdom Come?
Yes.
What have you heard about them?
Just the name.
Right. They're an American rock band whose uncanny likeness to Led Zep on their stunning debut album has been causing hearts to flutter all over the shop. Mm-hmm. And they're supporting Magnum on their upcoming tour. Now, they got absolutely roasted at the time for being Led Zep copyists. Like, you know, the main guy screamed like Robert Plant and they wore flares and stuff. But like listening to their stuff recently, it barely sounds like Led Zeppelin at all. They just sound like a proper 80s rock band. And like, I think the Cult a few years later, and obviously, what's that band now? Greta Van Fleet sound exactly like they sound way more like Zeppelin than Kingdom Come ever did. But at the time, yeah, they were like routinely just slagged off as being copyists. Something about Yngwie Malmsteen. No one really cares about Yngwie Malmsteen today.
These are the black and white pages, which aren't as exciting. The Maiden boob pictures in colour.
Yeah.
You'll be pleased to know.
Yeah, that was big news.
We can put that on Instagram because their nips are not on show.
Yeah.
So that's fine, I think, probably.
There's an advert for Magnum. There's a big feature on Whitesnake.
Hot. 2 picture, 1 your main picture, and then an insert of pure sex and a microphone.
So give me all your love tonight. Give me all your love tonight.
He's looking good. I mean, how old?
He still looks good.
How old do you reckon he was at this point?
I'm going to say now, and my brain went to 86. He's not 86. Don't tell me how old he is now. I think now he's 74.
All right.
And so that would make him however many years we're talking. 70, 60, 50, 40. I think he's probably about 37 in this.
Right, okay. He's actually 71 now.
Right, but I was close.
So I can't do this in my head.
37?
He was 37.
Isn't that what I just said?
Yeah, might have been. Yeah.
Right, well, we've got a recording of it. I'm pretty sure I said 37.
He does look good. He looks good now, doesn't he?
He looks good now.
White to the top, baby. Whitesnake sure slid themselves into some prime positions in last issue's readers' poll results.
Oh, what do they mean?
Best band, best male singer, top sex object, brackets male.
Yeah, right.
Top promo video, the band came and got it in no uncertain terms. But will it be a case of here I go again next time around? Or will Iron Maiden return to rule the roost? I don't think Iron Maiden are going to get top sex object male, are they?
Well, each their own. Horses for courses.
I mean,
all that.
Was Bruce Dickinson a good-looking lad? Looking back at the very tit-based picture.
They weren't my cup of tea visually.
I don't think they were trying to.
I don't think they were trying to be sexy. I don't think it's a competition between Iron Maiden and Whitesnake.
No, I mean obviously we can read this article at another point.
Yeah.
But another thing about this article is some of the graphic design in these old issues is awful. So you've got red and green lettering at the head.
Christmassy.
And it's on
What month was this released?
This is March.
Oh, it could have been Christmassy.
So you've got black text, but it's on a sort of
it's a snakeskin pattern.
Snakeskin pattern.
Yeah.
It's not that easy to read, but I think that happened a lot.
It's not easy to read, but it's metal. It's metal. Snakes are metal. Everyone knows that.
Right. So the next page, Bruce's Big Night. This is an Iron Maiden feature. And I mean, that's a pretty magnificent picture. I think that's on the Somewhere in Time tour. He's got sort of leathery, tight pants on, a skull belt, and there's quite a sort of flouncy shirt.
It's a bit Jareth. That shirt he's wearing is Jareth.
It is Jareth, isn't it?
And if you know, I'm not even going to explain who Jareth is because if you don't know, I don't care to explain.
No one listening.
If you know who Jareth is, his shirt is like Jareth. Yeah,
but he's got a sort of leather vest. It's a hell of a look. So Iron Maiden are back for the Attack with a new single, Can I Play With Madness?
How are they spelling attack? The normal way?
Normal way.
That's disappointing.
Can I Play With Madness? A forthcoming album entitled Seventh Son of a Seventh Son and spectacular plans to play the Donington Festival. Chris Watts gets the details. Bruce Dickinson supplies the edification.
Okay.
So it's about the new album. Are you aware of Seventh Son of a Seventh Son as an album?
No, not really.
I mean, it sounds pretty much like
every other Iron Maiden.
It had keyboards on it. I have a feeling that wasn't really considered to be a classic when it came out, but I think maybe in retrospect people like it.
Yeah.
They're talking about the stage set. There's a thing I picked out. Plan A was a Dungeons and Dragons thing, a bit cack, really. We slung that out. I think they had a sort of ice theme. They had like ice, but it was a painted backdrop. It was all like ice, like the album cover, basically. So there you go.
Okay.
So this is a article about W.A.S.P called Black Magic and Saw Blades.
Nice.
What are your feelings about W.A.S.P?
I like W.A.S.P.
Yeah.
I like the style.
Yeah.
I like the songs.
I mean, the picture of Blackie Lawless. I mean,
He looks like in the picture, he's pulling a bit of well, I mean, it's 80s, but 80s like page 3 girl pose.
I didn't think W.A.S.P were that camp, but it's like...
a bit coy, looking over your shoulder. Ooh, hello,
kind of
W.A.S.P.
like, look at my arse, isn't it?
It's
more like what you would imagine David Coverdale would do, isn't it? That pose.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because he's like Blackie Lawless is a sort of demonic figure, isn't he?
And they've picked a really good backdrop of just some sheets, some white sheets. We'll put up a picture, but it's literally just some white sheets, wrinkled.
Yeah. It doesn't look great.
Metal.
So the article talks about their single Animal, Fuck Like a Beast. Very controversial at the time, and they got the sleeve here. I mean, do you want to describe that?
Well, it's a lady, and I believe a Doberman dog. Is that the right dog?
But he's just shagging a leg, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just humping a leg like every dog does, don't they?
I mean, I always thought this like was of a dog savaging a woman.
You don't get more metal than their logo, because it's a metal circular saw, which in a circular saw, although functional, is dangerous. And then there's metal, I presume, because of the same colour, lightning bolts, and then W.A.S.P in metal.
Yeah.
So
with,
it's
like,
metal
rivets.
on metal on metal.
Metal on metal on metal.
If you touch that, you're going to get electrocuted and cut. So shut up. It's W.A.S.P.
Shut
up, it's W.A.S.P.
The dog
Just shut up.
Dog's just enjoying himself.
Yeah, the dog's just behaving like a dog.
I think the circular saw is a reference to the fact that he used to have a codpiece with a bandsaw attachment, and he'd come out and...
Dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, probably not a real one. It was probably plastic or something.
I've filled out health and safety forms before, and that would not cut the mustard. You've got to explain the dangers that could pose and what you can do to sort of mitigate those dangers. And I don't know,
They were not a health and safety based band.
You don't have a choice by these things.
On the following page, we've got records.
Records. Tell everyone how records is spelled. If you can guess, how do you think records ends?
Okay. Well, it's got a K and a Z in records. And it's a bunch of bands I've never heard of. So Fifth Angel, Barren Cross, and Empire.
Fifth Angel. Fifth Angel doesn't sound very metal.
Fate's Warning. I think they're sort of neo-prog. Toto, Helion, and the Hunters Club.
Helion?
I don't know Helion.
Yeah, you do.
Do I?
They're on, unless I'm mistaken, they're on most metal lineups at some point on some stage.
Right.
I don't know.
We should...
Unless I've imagined that.
I mean, there's a possibility that people are downloading a podcast about rock, like old Kerrangs, and they're thinking, well, it's going to be a couple of experts.
No, we're not experts.
We know
we're not experts. So if you've stayed 25 minutes and you've wanted an expert, I apologise. We're not experts. You're not going to get that.
There's a various artist compilation called Scream, the compilation, which is nothing to do with the film. It's on Geffen, and it's got Jane's Addiction on it. Pigs in Zen. I'm a big fan of Jane's Addiction. And I think Jane's Addiction were like a sort of sea change in rock. They were a bit more arty, they were a bit more avant-garde. They obviously had their roots in hair metal, but I think the mention of the name Jane's Addiction is like a taste of things to come. Because like 88 sort of like arse end of hair metal, isn't it? I think hair metal was like mid-80s.
Depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
Still in its heyday as far as I'm concerned.
Well.
It's hair day.
Okay. Well, there's a bunch more reviews. There's a
crossword spelled with a K, obviously, because you know it's rock. Which has had, like I say, these were gifted to me and had some of the crossword filled in, not all of it. Got bored and left it halfway through. But neat writing from the person. Again, I won't name the person because they might not want to be named, but they did gift all these to me.
Maybe they just didn't know.
I hate crosswords. They're not fun. It's not metal. There's nothing metal about crosswords. Move on. Move on. There's nothing metal about them.
All right. Well, how about a letters page?
Yes.
Called communication. Again, lots of K's.
Yeah.
So let's go through the letters. I am writing to you about the best band around in the British and European charts. And yes, even the American thrash scene. I refer, of course, to Sabat. This band is so heavy, I need a crane to lift my stereo when I listen to them. The band are better than Slayer, brackets, sorry lads. Check out the album and you'll soon believe me.
When Slayer read that or hear this, they're going to be crushed.
That is from Lee, Rush and Sabat Lunatic, Wyatt.
Right.
Now, do you know, I've got a fact about Sabat.
I thought you were about Liam. What do you know about him? He's still lifting up his stereo listen to a song.
I do not know much about this fella that sent this letter in, but Sabat, they had a flexi disc on the cover of an issue of White Dwarf magazine.
Okay.
White Dwarf, some of your listeners will know, was the role-playing game magazine. It was around about this time, actually. So they did a Warhammer-themed song.
Cool.
And it was, I think it was called Blood for the Blood God.
Okay. Why would the Blood God need blood? Actually, it's supposed to be the Blood God. Yeah, no, that's fine. I answered my own question.
Blood for the Blood God. That's the war cry.
I answered my own question.
And it was utterly unlistenable, but that might have been because it was a flexi disc. Because they never sound good, do they? And they had some awesome art by John Blanche. And they were into their fantasy shit. They might have been thrash, but they were very 70s. Next letter from Rob, Buckley in Wales. So if he's from Buckley, he might have been able to go to the Tivoli Buckley, which is a club, and they used to do a metal night, and I saw Dream Theater there.
Wow!
I know, exciting news.
Why didn't you lead with that?
That wasn't. For
we could have lost people without this kind of knowledge.
But I just think Rob will appreciate having a metal club in his hometown. You know?
No, yeah.
He's talking about Candlemass, who were a sort of doom metal band from the time.
Right.
There's another letter about Tiger Tails.
Tiger Tails. Of course I know Tiger Tails, man.
They're Welsh, I believe. The last letter is called Tawny Kitane Strikes Again. I feel it's time to write to you yet again. Oh, Christ. One day I'll have proof that you actually read what I have to say and not just print the first 10 letters that find their way into your offices.
Oh, he's going to look stupid when he reads this.
Here's some facts that might enlighten a few communicators. 1. How dare Eddie from Dublin give the lovely Tawny Kitane a bad name in issue 175? I'm sure she didn't.
What issue number is this? Don't know what issue number is. I'm just wondering how long he's been stewing on it.
Yeah, it's three.
Oh no,
three issues
yeah, no, it's fine. That's fine.
So he's saying, I'm sure she didn't appear in that nudie film. However, I have seen her in one, Bachelor Party, where she plays a respectable role by dressing up as a prostitute and discussing the fine arts of giving a blowjob. So,
I mean, that's what we're watching later, but yeah.
So R. Reed has obviously thought, well, I need to defend this woman's honour. Someone slagged her off.
That's nice.
I don't think Tawny's going to read this.
No, but it's nice that he's tried. The world could do with more men like that.
Okay,
Come on.
Shogun are going for the Bon Jovi US market. I don't know who Shogun are. Rick Astley sings better songs and sounds better than David Coverdale or Joe Elliott or Bob Catley or Robin McCauley or ...
Wow.
So he's just decided he wants to slag off a few people.
That is... What's wrong there? What's wrong?
Number 4. Can you guess what point number 4 is going to be about?
From the same person?
Yeah.
Angry about something?
Yeah. The British record charts are a fucking fix.
I mean, no, but that's fair. Yeah, they probably are.
He's complaining about Frankie Goes to Hollywood and the Pet Shop Boys and Whitesnake and Def Leppard not getting any British Music Awards.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
We're quite confused.
Well, he's angry and he's letting us know about it. It's
Okay.
fine.
So this is the Nikki Sixx shocker.
Shocker, but this is a brilliant story.
Do you know about this?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Because apologies, when I was gifted these, I did read them all.
You read this.
So
Would you want to go through it then, rather than my stupid voice being all over it?
well, no, we can hear you.
Right, Motley
Go on.
Crue tripped up. That's what it's called. Back in 1981, bass player Frank Ferrano, stage name Nikki Sixx, linked up with just 3 other Los Angeles musicians to form Motley Crue. 2 years later, just as the band were breaking big, Ferrano was involved in a car crash. His injuries were so serious he couldn't continue playing. Enter a new Nikki Sixx, a guy called Matthew Tripp. He joined the Crue as Ferrano's replacement, a Nikki Sixx doppelganger, and the band carries on as if nothing had happened.
This is just like the Avril Lavigne thing.
It is like the Avril Lavigne thing. It's like the Paul McCartney thing.
Yeah.
This is only part of a sensational story that John Houghton has unearthed. Is it true, or is it some elaborate scam?
But you don't need to ask whether it's true because they've got a photo at the bottom where they've got photos of Nikki Sixx and then another man. Just a completely different man.
Well, this is all predicated on the fact that people look slightly
No,
different.
do you know what? I love
pictures.
conspiracy theories, but when I was reading these, I really started to buy into, is this real? Did this really happen? So I'm sure it's not. Nikki Sixx is our Nikki Sixx that we know and love. And
So, is this mentioned in the dirt?
no.
It's not mentioned in the dirt.
No.
So this can't be real, then, can it? I mean, I could have looked this up before, but
We could look this up.
and I remember I think in an old issue of Q it mentioned this when I was reading Q.
There are, I mean, spoiler, there's references to it in other magazines.
Right. So the idea is, he had a car accident, so they brought in another guy to take over the role of Nikki Sixx. But apparently he wrote a load of songs, they're saying. And
if you're going to get someone to impersonate Nikki Sixx, you not only need to look like him, you also need to have the ability to write amazing rock songs.
But apparently this guy is much more into Satan. So he wrote Shout at the Devil. And
which we all know will Shout with the Devil.
Shout with the Devil, yeah. So the Crue image was later toned down. Polka dots, sequins, and less Satan. But the problem was Matthew Tripp believed the lyrics he wrote. And it talks about him wanting to join some kind of Church of Satan or some satanic cult. Or the Temple of Set. We were not necessarily satanic, but they're definitely a cult. It goes on to say he was arrested for armed robbery. And it was at this point they brought back the original Nikki Sixx, but this guy was trying to sue them. And there's a bunch of photographs, which we should post all of these.
Yeah.
That compare pictures of Nikki Sixx to other pictures of Nikki Sixx, but he looks slightly taller in some of them. It looks like his jaw is.
But given that they wear heels and heels are different sizes, this is not a great conspiracy theory.
It's got to be bullshit. But this is the sort of thing you talked about in the 80s because you didn't have the internet to check things.
Well, we could try and get that dude on the next episode. Yeah. We'll get him on. He'll tell us.
So this article ends. I promise you no answers. You may even have more questions. Maybe time will answer them. Maybe Nikki Sixx or Motley Crue will. Maybe. But so stay tuned. I mean, we're going through these magazines in a random order, aren't we? I've just picked this one.
You started, so you picked this one.
But I saw this article. I thought it was interesting. So, as a legit Motley Crue fan, do you think it was a different guy?
No, I don't.
No, because
I think they were popular, and people want to jump on the bandwagon of their popularity.
So you were not taken in by this conspiracy theory.
When I first read these magazines, I was, because I was reading them all at once, and it got me well and truly hooked. But now, no.
But what is your take on the Avril Lavigne mystery?
I change my mind daily on whether it's.
I mean, do you want to explain it? Avril Lavigne's been replaced.
Everyone likes Avril Lavigne, so I'm not even going to justify that. But everyone likes her, and there was a similar story that I think it's something hideous, like she killed herself or something. That's this story. And that she was replaced. And that the person we're seeing today isn't the original Avril, and then they've got various other. It's a similar thing. They'll show a photo of her once, a video of her once singing, that type of thing. But no, I think Avril is the Avril that that was a cat falling off the desk, if you heard that. I think Avril is Avril, and everyone likes Avril. And I'm not even being sarcastic.
We've got a lot of love for Avril in this house, haven't we?
Yeah.
We're not just 1988 metal. We also accept.
We're not losers who are going to, ignore the presence of people like Avril. I like Kelly Clarkson as well, right? I've got an eclectic taste in music, but I like a lot of good music as well. I mean, I'm not saying Kelly Clarkson isn't good, because she is. What I'm saying is it's just a different type of music. She's not going to be in Kerrang, is she?
She's not going to be on Kerrang, but she's been on stage with Steel Panther.
She has been on stage.
So she's aware of the Kerrang world, I would say.
True.
So concerts,
K and a Z.
There's a big review of Heart at the Edinburgh Playhouse, and it mostly goes on about Ann Wilson's voice is suffering because she's ill, but it's a great show. And there's a bunch of other reviews of stuff I'm not really interested in. There's a review of All About Eve at the Glasgow University. Are you interested in All About Eve?
Not really.
Do you know anything about them?
Not really.
Right. They're most famously known for going on Top of the Pops, doing a sensitive acoustic number called Martha's Harbour.
You are an ocean wave, my love, crashing at the bow.
They couldn't hear the playback, so they just sit there like a couple of lemons, not miming while the song is playing.
Oh.
So that's what most people know them for, sort of folky goth.
Okay.
So right up my street.
Yeah.
But yeah. You like Kelly Clarkson. I like All About Eve.
Yeah, I win.
There's a live review of AC/DC at the Sydney Entertainment Centre.
Not a very good photo.
Well, it's in action, isn't it?
Yeah, but still not a very good photo.
Shrapnel, I guess, is their small ads.
Looks like it.
Goats Don't Shave play West Bromwich Coach and Horses on March 13th. I mean, that is when this goes to press. Oh, no, this goes to press on March the 12th, so you've got one day to get down. And there's a cartoon strip, the thing about next issue, and there's the singles and albums chart. So this is the rock singles. So I'm going to give you the top 5 and you're going to give me your assessment.
Okay.
Number 1. No, should I start at number 5? Heaven Knows by Robert Plant.
Okay.
Do you know that song?
Sing it.
I'm not singing.
Oh, well, that doesn't help.
Maybe when I'm half cut, I will sing Heaven Knows. Animal, Fuck Like a Beast, live by W.A.S.P.
Okay.
Anarchy in the UK, Megadeth.
Okay.
Sex Pistols cover. Hot in the City, Billy Idol.
That's good.
That's good. That's a tune. Whitesnake, Give Me All Your Love is number 1.
Nice.
It's all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that off 1987?
Yeah. Quite happy with that.
Albums. Number 5, Vital Idol, Billy Idol.
Okay.
Sounds like a compilation, doesn't it? Number 4, Skyscraper, Dave Lee Roth.
Nice.
Classic. Number 3, Cream of Eric Clapton.
I like Eric Clapton. I know.
Eric Clapton's a racist.
Okay.
2, Whitesnake, 1987.
Okay.
Number 1, Blow Up Your Video, AC/DC.
Okay, pretty good.
Sounds like all the other AC/DC albums.
Not interested in indie metal. What's Star Choice?
Star Choice, Nasty Ronnie from Nasty Savage. Sounds very nasty. I
Who's
mean,
calling
it's
women tots?
three albums he's chosen. Can you guess?
We're making a quote there. I think we should.
Yeah, we talk in
quote
quotes.
A lot of Ponderland. No, yeah, Ponderland.
Yeah. Nasty,
Ponderland
just look up Nasty Friday.
Nasty Friday by with Russell Brand in Ponderland.
Which is from about 15 years ago.
It's a Christmas episode, isn't it? Yeah. So, yeah, it's about 15 years old.
Yeah. We watch it literally all the time.
It's very funny. And most of our vocabulary is either from that or Bottom or the Young Ones.
Or Nativity. This is very metal.
Or Pole Express, because you don't get more metal than Pole Express.
Yeah.
Although, Uncanny Valley is pretty metal. They're weird looking.
Yeah. I don't know who Nasty Savage are, but Nasty Ronnie likes The Doors, by The Doors. First album.
Right. Oh, right. Okay. So these are people's choices.
Queen 1 by Queen, his first Queen album. And Rain in Blood by Slayer.
Oh, I don't like Rain in Blood.
Tony Clarkin from Magnum. He's chosen Eddie Cochran by Eddie Cochran. Eat 'Em and Smile by Dave Lee Roth. And Hounds of Love by Kate Bush. Eclectic.
Nice.
Dave Pearsall from Cry. I mean, this isn't terribly exciting. So back page, 3 5-foot-tall door posters.
That's pretty cool.
Let's go through the post. Can you identify all these people?
So we've got Gene Simmons.
Sans makeup.
Yeah, doing a classic Gene Simmons pose. Bon Jovi. We've got, I'm guessing someone from Anthrax, or they're just wearing an Anthrax t-shirt. He's wearing his own band t-shirt, so it's a bit of a spoiler. Who is that?
Sheffield's Finest. Joe Elliott.
I mean, spoiler, I've just realised the name's on the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay. So Lisa Dominique is on here, and she is...
she's the odd one out, isn't she, on here?
Well, you've got to have something for the lads, haven't you? The rest is the hot action for the girls. It's weird. Some of them are... The top 3 are posed for your door posters. I mean, the Lisa Dominique is posed.
She's got no clothes on. Let's not beat around the bush.
But Bruce Dickinson is like just a photo his mum's taken of him in front of, I think, the Brooklyn Bridge, from the looks of it.
It looks like he's sulking.
He doesn't look happy. He's like, his mum said, get there, I want to take a photo of you. And then the guy from Anthrax, he's just on stage, and it looks like he's taken from a drone, which is weird because they didn't exist back then. That's cool. Can you get them free?
I think that the offer may have expired.
Let me see. See the coupon on this page, right? There's a coupon. It looks a bit like a book with a keyhole on it. Clip it out and keep it safe. Okay. All right, collect 2 more. And then you'll be able to send off for another door post. Wait, how do you get your first one? Right, so you have to collect these and then send it off. So we could do that.
Well, I mean, it's worth a try.
Keep them clipped, and remember, your chance of obtaining that lascivious Lisa Dominique door poster you missed out on first time around is merely weeks away. I think if you had that on your door, your mum would not be very happy.
Although my friend who got Kerrang, I seem to remember he had a 5-foot-tall door poster, and it was Aussie. And it was Aussie. It looked like someone's mad auntie. And he had an axe, and it looked like he was breaking through the door.
That's pretty cool.
So we should get that. He might have had a Lisa Dominique picture as well.
Well, I see why. She looks nice.
Do you know anything about her?
No, she's got nice hair.
At the time, I assumed she was like Lita Ford, Doro Pesh, these kind of glam metal people. But I think she was on like an indie label. and I think I don't think she ever sort of made it as a big star, but she was in Kerrang a lot around about this time
Okay.
for obvious reasons,
Sexy
reasons.
reasons.
Because man can't live by pictures of Bruce Dickinson alone.
Yeah, outside, looking miserable,
Moody.
Indifferent, worse. Indifferent.
He's looking indifferent on the back here. So that was quite a short issue.
Right.
So what do you want to wrap it up? Should we say what have we learned today?
Well, we've learned that Nikki Sixx might not be Nikki Sixx.
True.
We've learned how to get your free door poster.
Yeah.
So we'll have to hang on to those coupons.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think that's all I've learned.
Yeah. But it was fun, wasn't it? It was you got to see the Fuck Like a Beast cover.
Yeah.
You learned a bit about that. And so there you go.
Right.
So is that our first podcast?
Yeah, I think that's our first podcast.
Nice. All right. I think that's all right. Listen to that. That sounds all right. Well, I haven't listened to it back yet. It might be.
It's just part of the podcast.
We're
leaving this rambling in.
Maybe when we do Patreon.
When we do the next one, we might be a bit more polished. So
I wouldn't count on it.
I don't bet on it, but we'll make an effort.
All right.
So
do you want to sign off?
Tune in next time, and we'll go through another Kerrang.
Yeah, or maybe Metal Hammer.
Maybe Metal Hammer.
Maybe
I think
Raw.
We'll do. I think there's more Kerrang. We'll see which there's more of, and we'll go with that next.
Flipping through these, Kerrang looks more fun. Kerrang looks a bit more interesting than the others.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
We'll see. All right.
All right. Thanks very much.
All right. Keep on rocking in the 80s.
Rocking in the 80s.
I'm going to find out now this hasn't recorded.
Going